We're here today to recognize and to celebrate Newark as the first civic city in the nation. And we know that Newark will now set a standard for the rest of the country in how to build a 21st century democracy. A civic city is a city where all citizens have access to the skills and information that they need to experience the full measure of their political power. Political power exercised in problem solving in the city's interest, where citizens can gather together and serve as civic trustees, researching across the nation for best practice and successful urban policies that they can then bring to their city in their mission of bettering their city a bit more each and every day. If you create a civic city, and this is what we're already seeing in Newark, you're creating a pipeline of practical solutions and principled emerging leaders. And that's a very powerful element for any city. Now, the main components of a civic city are four. I feel like this is a high school class here. There'll be questions afterward. The first is the incorporation of solution civics in the high school curriculum for the students of the city. And this was accomplished with the strong support of our superintendent, León, and also with the school board, A to Z, unanimous vote, and with the strong efforts of the civic trustees. Where is Bradley? Is he still here? Oh, there he is. Bradley Gomaya, one of the civic trustees in Newark, one of our first junior trustees, who's now trying to reorganize the Newark Student Union, made a powerful pitch for solution civics that was embraced by the school board and embraced by the superintendent. So we're off and running. 2,200 books have been delivered to the school. 27 social studies teachers have been trained, and they're now teaching solution civics so that every graduate of Newark High School is going to be empowered to be a leader and to be a problem solver in the city. This wouldn't have happened without the strong efforts of some of our trustees, and I'll touch on that in just a moment. But I will tell you that we also have a second element in a civic city, and it's called power civics. Now, power civics is an advanced version of solution civics. It provides more advanced guidance in how you devise the solutions necessary, adapt them to the city, and follow them through to implementation. And it provides the opportunity for the students to learn how they can immediately go into public service, even at their age, without having to raise money or run for office or that sort of thing. Solution civics, rather power civics, is offered to every resident of Newark through an online curriculum and community forums. But it's also recently been incorporated, thanks to the efforts of Nancy Chancellor and Marcia into one of the courses at Rutgers, and hopefully soon the Honors Living and Learning Community course in the spring. And this is a very powerful move by Rutgers University. It's one thing to call yourself an anchor institution. It's another thing to take the knowledge that resides in that anchor institution and share it with every citizen in the community. And Rutgers is really leading that anchor institution movement with its example. So we now have the opportunity not only to have Power Civics available to the residents and to the students, but in the Power Civics courses taught at Rutgers, there is a service component. And the service component of the first course, which is being taught now by Renee Data, will be a community-wide Power Civics forum this Saturday. What time is it? 11 o'clock at Rutgers. So it's this kind of thing, this kind of broad-based engagement of the community in learning their full political power and how to be no-blame problem solvers that sets the foundation for a civic city. But there's still two other things that are needed. One is a civic trust. And civic trusts are associations of citizens who pledge to leave their city better than they found it by following a no-blame approach instead of pointing fingers and assigning blame. And they search for successful urban solutions. They bring them to Newark. The civic trustees are the ones who are most responsible for solution civics being incorporated in the Newark school system. They give us a powerful example That powerful example is one of unselfish service, civility, and pragmatism. And God knows we need more of that kind of an example in our country right now. The last component of a civic city, a component without which there wouldn't be a civic city, is the embrace by City Hall of the notion of empowerment. And I must say that was an easy one here because of the mayor. He's devoted his whole life to empowering his fellow citizens, his father before him, if I might say that. And he created the Newark People's Assembly. Where's Andrea Mason? To reach out to the community and bring them in as full participants in his administration and in the future of the city. And because of that, we are now so proud to be able to announce Newark as the first civic city in the nation, the model that other cities can follow as we build a 21st century democracy where citizens will have the power to participate in the decision-making process, to participate in the problem-solving process, and to be able to help us meet the challenges of the 21st century.
You know, our responsibility, obviously, in schools is to educate, first and foremost, our students, work really hard at making them want to stay in this great city, to contribute to its greatness some more. Sometimes what we have to do is unteach. So for the last 22 years, under the state-operated school district, we've taught our citizenry that our board was in an advisory capacity. So on the 1st of February of this year, you know, the mayor had an event where he indicated we were no longer there. That was one major event in contrast to 22 years hearing it day after day. So our hopes is to, you know, obviously educate our students well, educate the community, so that we actually have more people voting, because obviously we know that the board today is responsible for Newark's schools.
These things happened at the right time. You know, we were contemplating the Newark People's Assembly and began trying to organize that. Most things that you want to do have to be built, from the beginning to the end. You can't just snap your fingers and things appear. People want that to be the case, but that's not real. They have to be built. And you know, Andrea and Levita in the back have been working to build the People's Assembly for us. Harry came in with the idea of the Civic Trust, which we believe falls right in line with what we were trying to do anyway. As a matter of fact, it even enhances our ability to get done what we need to be done. For example, if we go to the community and the People's Assembly and bring folks the budget, they actually have to know what the budget is. They have to know how the budget functions, how it's put together. And I think the Civic Trust helps us to create that opportunity for people. To get the Rutgers University and Newark Public Schools on board is right on point. We begin to teach young people about civics again in a real way, and get them to follow through with it when they go to the university, and then come back out of the university and practice it in a very pragmatic way in community organizations, and then begin to engage City Hall. And some of the early People's Assemblies meetings that we've had, we talk over and over about the way the relationship is that the city has had with the residents for a very long time, which is usually talking at each other. You know, I say I have a problem, we go back and forth about how long the problem has existed, who's responsible for it, who's not responsible for it, and we talk at each other. And a lot of people don't want to come out and participate in meetings because they turn that way. I mean, this gives us the opportunity to have meetings where we are beginning to not just talk about the problems, but begin talking about how to fix these problems, how to develop solutions to these problems. By the way, that have been intractable problems for the last 5 or 6 decades, right? That weren't invented, you know, with you. So at the end of the day, we should be trying to figure out how they end with you, or the beginning of the end with you, and that takes a collective approach.
In these courses, our students will learn to identify public problems and what their stake is in solving that problem. They will practice the skills in problem solving, develop problem solving strategies, evaluate their work so that we can determine impact, and also the capacity to go forward. Because one of the things about evaluating what we do, it should teach teach us what it is that we need to go further and deeper in solving those issues. In addition, as Harry mentioned, the students will be holding public civic forums, and the first one will be Saturday, December 1 at the Fall Winter Campus Center. Let me end with saying that I believe that at the heart of Civic Cities is the recognition that we are intrinsic and moral neighbors who must continually and steadily be learning how to move from difficult dialogues to community mobilizing to experiencing real victories and then to empowerment.